Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how I made these miniatures. So I'm gonna show you how I turned pots like these with plastic plants that I bought at an Action dollar store. Now the first step is get what you need, buy it. I don't know if you have epoxy or the miniatures, just make sure you know what you want to use, pull them out, and then use these bases as a starting point. Make sure there is some gravel in it, some stones, because that is it's nice to have that as a texture. They're all based around a water theme, as you can see. But the creation of this will be a 4-step process. First, we're going to prepare the pots for their for whatever we want to apply. Then, obviously, we want to add the miniatures and maybe even extra details like this reed, as you can see here. And then we're gonna add the water. That's another twofold process. We're first gonna pour the epoxy in. Then we are going to apply the Clearfix or another polymer-based product, create the water effect that will create a certain element of movement that we want to have. There were plastic plants inside which I pulled out. That left some holes, so I filled those with external rocks. Those rocks got painted over, great. I'm now actually at the phase of washing them. And then I've added several miniatures. Then the next step is filling it up with epoxy water to just make some really small, nice dioramas out of them. I love the contrast of these super quirky, cheesy pots. The next step now is washing, watered down gray. So I finished the models, put them inside the small sea line from Reaper Miniatures. This one needs a lot of additional painting, but I figured out for a nice scene. So I finished all the bases, and as you can see, I've added a few dead fishes in some areas. This one got a small tabletop world casket. So I've got a new epoxy here, which is a 5:3 ratio. So I'm gonna pour it in. It's muy importante to mix this very good and long. Why? Because the two parts don't like to be mixed. You need to force them together to make a good marriage. Always watch out for fumes while working with epoxy. It's really a health hazard actually. The chemicals are very, very toxic and very bad for the environment. So always make sure that you do this in a well-ventilated room. Best is even outside, because when these fumes mix, they create fumes that are just fucking bad for your health, man. You should never get this on your skin. Make sure you really mix it well on all the sides and down. Great! Okay, so I'm on to pouring the epoxy. You mix the A with the B, you get the stuff, and then you start pouring it in. Already did a few pours, so here's my next one. My tip with working with epoxy is to really take your time, because this shit, man, it turns out so rock hard. It's really dangerous stuff, man. You don't want to fuck your old diorama up with just a little bit of pouring and a little bit of hate. It's important to also get some backup options ready to make sure that if you have a spill that you can fix it right away. As I already had one very small hole. You need some plastic cups or some other containers so you contain the damage. So I've used my Clearfix and made a bit of a structure. in the water, so that creates movement. So I put a bit of Clearfix down on a painting mat or whatever container that you want. Now this dries pretty quick, and there are two techniques. You can either thin it down with a bit of isopropyl, which is 99% alcohol. Don't drink it if you want to get drunk. This is a terrible way to try that. You can thin it down so you can get a bit of neat texture now. I think we can see the difference. You can see the flat surface, right? This is no movement. We want to create the texture of the water. So I'm just gonna pour a bit down. It really depends on what you want to create. The more you let it dry, the more sturdy it gets, so you can really create great splashes. This texture becomes just purely excellent for this purpose. Now it has raw edges, sharp edges.